Right friends, welcome back to revision session for civil services preliminary examination. This is second concerning S&T ecology environment issues, and the third session on this ecology we will discuss maybe after 10 days from now, and tomorrow and day after we are trying to discuss the issues pertaining to geography. So, various contemporary issues and the relevant geographical aspects both across the world and in India we are going to discuss tomorrow and day after. So, it will cover extensively with the maps. So, please view those, and now this is the second one in the series of S&T, and we will discuss like this: S&T, then geography, then various agriculture issues, various constitutional issues, like that we will bifurcate. And as I have already told you, this will continue for 30 sessions. This is the second session and this is on S&T. 7 exoplanets were found, and this is the largest collection of Earth-like planets in the habitable Goldilocks region. Here two things: what is meant by exoplanet? Exoplanet is nothing but extrasolar planet that orbits a star other than the sun. Here you see these planets are orbiting around sun, and if any planet is found orbiting around other than sun, so then we call exoplanet. And another thing is Goldilocks region. Goldilocks zone means habitable zone, especially if you look at all these planets, Earth is in the Goldilocks zone. So, exoplanets were found. TRAPPIST 1, TRAPPIST means transiting planets and planetesimals small telescope, and it raises the possibility of liquid water present on the surface because it is found on the Goldilocks region, or you can say habitable region, right. So, 7 exoplanets. Please do not forget about exoplanet and Goldilocks zone. The second one is 50-year-old Sonam Wangchuk got the Rolex award, and here this Rolex awards for global enterprise they are given, and ice stupas he designed. He is from Ladakh in Jammu and Kashmir, Sonam Wangchuk, and he is one among 10 people which competed from 144 countries. And about Rolex awards for enterprise, I have given some details here. Ice stupas, they are basically storage of water in the form of ice during winter months, and here this ice stupas start melting once summer comes. So, during the need in summer days, this can be used as water. So, that is the beauty of ice stupas. Meghalaya's famous root bridge was nominated for prestigious National Innovation Foundation award, and certain tribes, especially Jaintia tribes, and if I am not wrong, Khasi tribes also, they go for this root bridges. This got National Innovation Foundation award, and these bridges are built, please understand, very important point, these bridges are built by allowing the aerial roots of rubber trees. Aerial roots of rubber trees are allowed to grow through betel tree trunks. So, it takes almost 15 years, and Meghalaya, being the hilly state, has got several nalas, streams, and to cross the streams, this is the natural mechanism which they found. So, aerial roots, this is aerial roots, ROOTS, aerial roots of rubber trees. Here they are allowed to grow through betel tree trunks. So, this is the mechanism of root bridges. This LIGO observatory, in India also we are going to get LIGO observatory, and here this LIGO, laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory, it measured gravitational waves. So, it measured gravitational waves which were first proposed 100 years ago by Albert Einstein as part of theory of relativity. And the next point is what is meant by gravitational waves. Gravitational waves are ripples in the fabric of space-time that are produced when black holes collide and stars explode. So, gravitational waves are produced when objects are accelerated. Please look into this slide. Two black holes, one 36 times the mass of the sun and the other one 29 times the mass of sun, 1.3 billion light years away from Earth, orbiting around each other, collided and merged into a single massive black hole of 62 times the mass of the sun. And here the theory I have given, and the disturbances, or you can say ripples in the fabric of space and time because of collision of black holes was measured by LIGO observatories in United States of America. As per theory of general relativity, the pair of black holes orbiting around each other lost energy through the emission of gravitational waves. So, as they lost energy, they are gravitationally drawn closer to each other, and as they became closer, the spinning became faster and they emitted even more gravitational waves, and by the end of 20 milliseconds, final collision and dark violent merger took place. This is theory, and in India also this is going to come up. Two LIGO observatories, LIGO full form, please understand what it measured, what is meant by gravitational wave. All these things are very important. That is why I spent around 2 minutes on this subject. Two observatories at a distance of 3000 kilometers in United States of America, one in Louisiana, other one in Hanford, Washington. They measured these gravitational waves, and in India, 3 organizations are associated with the LIGO India project. LIGO India project is going to come up, and 3 organizations I have listed here. You can go through it. And LIGO India project is going to come up in Hingoli district in Maharashtra, and it is most likely to be the site in India for LIGO project. The cost will be around 1200 to 1300 crores, and this will be the third one in the world after Hanford, Washington and Livingston, Louisiana, what we have already seen. Then the next one is, there is intellectual property battle going on between 2 universities. That is not important for us, but what is important this year from examination perspective is CRISPR-Cas9. What is CRISPR? CRISPR is clustered regularly interspaced short palindrome repeats. This is quite often into the news throughout the year. Clustered regularly interspaced short palindrome repeats. This is CRISPR. This is CRISPR Cas9 gene editing technology. Cas9 is nothing but enzyme which is used to cut DNA, and here you see DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid, and it is the material inside the nucleus of cells carrying genetic information. This DNA, if there is any problem with DNA which results into diseases, that part can be cut and thrown out. So, you can say it is doing operation for DNA, cutting and throwing it out. So, modifications to DNA can be done, and this is CRISPR Cas9, and Cas9 is nothing but enzyme which is used to cut this DNA. So, enzyme is the protein. Certain enzymes can cut pieces of DNA of one organism. So, in a nutshell, this technology is a gene editing technology, and in future it is going to have revolutionary breakthrough in medical field, right? Please understand, a question is expected on this. Then Union government launched interdisciplinary panel to look at virtual currencies. 9-member panel was constituted, and here examples of currency, that is cryptocurrencies I have given. Please go through this slide. It is cryptocurrency is unregulated digital money, and it need not be attached to a fiat currency, and here neither issued by central bank nor public authority. Like this, please go through it, and the committee was constituted to look into these aspects. Next one is Majuli. Majuli became the largest river island in the world. Majuli, if you want, please look into this. Majuli is between Brahmaputra, and it is in between Brahmaputra river in Assam it became the largest river island, that is one news, and it became country's first ever carbon neutral district. It will become country's first ever carbon neutral district by 2020 as stated by Assam Chief Minister. But more than that, what is important is Majuli Island is the world's largest river island. It is situated in Assam. It is situated between Brahmaputra river in Assam. This is most important. Then Supreme Court directed the Kerala government to release entire compensation to over 5,000 victims and their families in 3 months. The problem is with the usage of endosulfan. Endosulfan was used in cashew nut plantations in northern part of Kerala, and this is a cheap agrochemical. This is highly controversial agrochemical because of aerial spraying on cashew plantations. Because of aerial spraying, it affected human beings. Please look into this. Because of aerial spraying, adjoining habitations were badly affected and several people are suffering. Meanwhile, another news report, scientists led by Professor Satish Raghavan from IISc for the first time found that mice and rats exposed to endosulfan suffer from DNA damage. So, they suffered from DNA damage, several human beings are also suffering. It is organochlorine insecticide. Endosulfan is organochlorine insecticide which induces breaks in DNA strands. As per Stockholm Convention, India agreed to phase it out by 2017 and it will have effect on human genetic and endocrine system. It may lead to cancer and genetic abnormalities. Under these circumstances, Supreme Court's decision is very, very important. Right. The next one is Himansh. The Glaciological Research Facility of India started functioning in Spiti Valley of Himachal Pradesh, situated at an altitude of 13,500 feet. For what purpose? It will serve as a base for terrestrial laser scanners and unmanned aerial vehicles to digitize glacier movements and snow cover variations. Right? Here basic thing is to quantify the glaciers and the movement of glaciers in the upper Indus basin. That is the purpose of this Himansh Glaciological Research Facility, and it looks at quantifying the glaciers and their movements. Right? Then the next one is cryogenic engines. This cryogenic engines is vital for GSLV rocket. Now we have capability to carry satellites up to the weight of around 2200 kg, and once the cryogenic engine technology becomes a reality, we can place 4000 kg weight satellites also into geostationary orbit, right, or you can say this at around 36,000 kilometers high, and the need of the hour here is to reach higher reaches with more weight of satellites. So, when we are launching 4000 kg satellites, we are launching from French Guyana, and now once this becomes reality, we need not go. And what is the technology? Here cryogenic technology is using liquid oxygen and or liquid hydrogen. When these two are used, highest energy efficiency for rocket engines can be achieved, because of which you can carry more weight of satellites into the higher orbits. And please do not forget, oxygen remains liquid only at temperatures below minus 183 degrees centigrade and hydrogen below minus 253 degrees centigrade. So, cryogenic engine experiment is another potential question for examination. Madras High Court ordered Tamil Nadu government to enact a law to remove Simai caruvelum trees. Simai caruvelum trees, and these are the species brought from West Africa in 1960s as a fuel wood. And what is the problem with these trees? The problem with these trees is it affects local ecosystem of its habitation by sucking all the groundwater nearby, and In fact, it has infiltrated into the water bodies and dry lands of Tamil Nadu, and because of this, Madras High Court ordered Tamil Nadu government to enact a law to remove semi-caruvelum trees. New Ebola vaccine became successful with 100% protection. The name of the Ebola vaccine is RVSV Jebo. Please understand, 3 vaccines: malaria, Ebola, Zika. These 3 are into the news during the current year. So, new Ebola vaccine, this is manufactured by Merck Laboratories, RVSV Jebo. And Ebola, all of you are familiar with this dreaded disease, which has taken around 11,000 lives in primarily 3 countries: Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone in Africa, right. And now malaria vaccine, 2 malaria vaccines, one is RTSSS developed by GlaxoSmithKline, and one of this, or you can say RTSSS, is going to be introduced in 3 countries on experimental basis, and the other vaccine is developed by PFSPZ by Sanaria. So, these 2 vaccines, they belongs to malaria, please do not forget. And another vaccine, Zika vaccine, please do not forget Zika vaccine, this is MR766, and now phase 1 clinical trials are going to be started. This Bharat Biotech International in Hyderabad, this is going to start phase 1 clinical trials for Zika virus vaccine, that is MR766, right. So, about these vaccines do not forget, and about our domestic mission Indradhanush or vaccination program, we will discuss subsequently in the coming lectures, and these 3 vaccines, please do not forget. Another news item is, during 2016, Zika was declared as public health emergency of international concern. Zika was declared as public health emergency of international concern, or PHEIC, in February 2016, and subsequently in November it was taken out. So, this is very important news. This Zika was declared as public health emergency of international concern in February 16, and subsequently in November it was removed from that status. And prior to that, Ebola was declared as public health emergency of international concern in 2014, right. So, here 2 diseases are believed to be because of this Zika, and Zika in November it was removed from the status of public health emergency of international concern. This is one important news about Zika virus. I have written here mosquito as well as diseases, please go through it. Genetically modified mosquito trials are being conducted by Oxitec. Genetically modified mosquito trials, and these are conducted by Oxitec, and release of insects carrying dominant lethal genes technology. Here I have given how this is going to control the mosquitoes. Here wild female mosquitoes causes diseases like dengue, chikungunya, Zika, and the technology uses GM mosquitoes that carry a dominant lethal gene technology. Subsequently, the gene is passed on to the offspring, and the lethal gene in the offspring kills the mosquito at the larva stage. This is behind this genetically modified mosquito trials, right. I have given here remaining points, please go through them. India's first floating elementary school was inaugurated at a floating village in Loktak Lake in Manipur. And when you look at Manipur, there are several important aspects. One is Loktak Lake and Kibul Lamjau National Park. This is one of the floating islands, this Pumdis, PHUMDIS. These Pumdis are floating islands. Floating islands are famous in Loktak Lake, which is situated in Manipur. So, on one of the floating islands, Kibul Lamjau National Park is situated, and it is only floating national park in the world, and it is the last national refuge of endangered Sangai deer. Loktak Lake is designated as wetland of international importance under Ramsar Convention. So, these things are very important when you look at Manipur and Loktak Lake. This Sangai Deer, then Kibul Lamjau National Park, this is the floating national park, or a question may be asked about Fumdis. Fumdis are nothing but floating islands. So, these things do not forget, and if you go ahead, this Loktak Lake is in Manipur, and if you go ahead, Solar Impulse 2 became the first aircraft to circle the globe using solar energy. So, this is Solar Impulse 2 is the aircraft, and it is Swiss long range solar powered aircraft project, and the final leg was also completed. That means total it encircled the globe, 17 journeys, 558 hours of flight time. And one important point I would like to tell you, it has got around 17,000 solar cells and 4 lithium polymer batteries, because when sun is not there, then at that time this lithium polymer batteries, they power the aircraft, right. And to reduce the weight, it is made up of carbon fiber. This is also very important, right. 2 more tiger reserves are coming up in Uttarakhand, and here all of you are familiar with Rajaji Tiger Reserve, that is 48th Tiger Reserve, Rajaji. Already Corbett is there, and if you look at Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand has got around 340 tigers, so second only to Karnataka, and here the state has got 2 tiger reserves, Corbett and Rajaji, and 2 more are announced. Please do not forget about these 2 figures. One is Nandhaur Tiger Reserve and the other one is Surai Tiger Reserve, Nandhaur and Surai. Look at the next one. Ministry of Ayush has set up Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences as an apex body. That is one important aspect. Second most important aspect is it is going to establish Savarikpa Institute, National Institute of Savarikpa. So, a question can be expected on this. National Institute of Savarikpa is going to come up at Leh in Jammu and Kashmir. And what is this Savarikpa? Savarikpa is Tibetan medicine system. This is practiced in many parts of the country, especially in Ladakh region of Jammu and Kashmir, Sikkim, Darjeeling in West Bengal and parts of Arunachal Pradesh, and this is recognized by the government of India. And basically the system is systematically and logistically understanding the body disease in relation to environment, and if I am not wrong, this is also known as Amchi system of medicine, right. Look into the next one. National Green Tribunal placed in abeyance the environmental clearance given to Neutrino Observatory. Neutrino Observatory is to come up in Bodhi West Hills in Theni district of Tamil Nadu, and it is close to border of Kerala. That is one part. And second important aspect is it is just 4.9 kilometers from Mathikettan-Shola National Park in Idukki district of Kerala, because it is within 5 kilometers from the interstate boundary or within a notified national park or sanctuary, it is to be considered as a category A project, and more stringent regulations will come into force. That is why the license, or you can say it placed in abeyance the environmental clearance, right. So, neutrinos, they are fundamental particles which make up the universe. They are similar to electron, but no electric charge. And recently in the year 2015, 2 scientists were awarded Nobel Prize for finding that neutrinos have got mass. And when you are looking at neutrinos, one important observation, do not forget, DUNE experiment, Deep Underground Neutrino Experiment, is the international experiment for neutrino science and proton decay studies. Then SpaceX, if someone says Falcon 9 rocket, this is into the news because of using it once again. One stage of the rocket is coming back and it is being reused. So, reusable rocket Falcon 9, and here Falcon Heavy he released. More than that, what is important is here the reusable rocket. And another important point is Falcon Heavy rocket can lift 54,000 kg of satellites into orbit. and our ISRO can lift up to 2200 kg, and we are trying to lift up to 4000 kg, and this Falcon heavy rocket can lift 54,000 kgs of rocket into the orbit. And when somebody says about Falcon, then it is of SpaceX. SpaceX is in America. Then Long March rocket belongs to China. Then Ariane space rocket belongs to European Space Agency, and one more Delta IV heavy rocket is there, which is with United Launch Alliance of United States of America. Then SpaceX successfully launched, reused the first stage of Falcon rocket. So, the era of reusable rockets has started literally, and on similar experiments Blue Origin is doing with New Shepard rocket. Blue Origin, that is also in United States of America, it is experimenting with the New Shepard rocket. Then here already this reusable rocket on experimental basis by New Shepard, it came back. And the next one is Google stated that Project Loon can predict weather systems also, and Project Loon, that is balloons flow in the stratosphere around 18 kilometers high, and here Project Loon balloons constitute helium. These are important aspects. And if you look at Microsoft is experimenting with Wi-Fi. What is Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is unused television spectrum, and here ideal television broadcasting spectrum will be used to solve the broadband connectivity problem, that is unused television broadcasting spectrum, and this project of Microsoft is known as Wi-Fi. So, Project Loon Google, Wi-Fi, now Microsoft is trying to come up big with this Wi-Fi, and Facebook is using drones, its internet drone Aquila passed the first full scale test. So, these things do not forget, and researchers from Columbia University and the New York Genome Center have stored a computer operating system, and here a short movie along with other data was stored in DNA. So, data storage through DNA, this is one important aspect. Researchers from Columbia University, and here there are several advantages of data storing in DNA. One is 215 petabytes of data can be stored in a single gram of DNA, that is one part. Second part is this was the highest density data storage ever created. And third important point is it can last hundreds of thousands of years if kept in a cool, dry place, right. Then if you look at the next Grapes 3 experiment, and this is going to be upgraded, and this is Tata Institute of Fundamental Research Cosmic Ray Laboratory in Uttacommund being upgraded basically to detect the effect of solar storms, right. And here what is Grapes 3? I have given here full form. Grapes 3 is basically designed to study cosmic rays or high energy radiation mainly originating outside the solar system, and this Cosmic Ray Laboratory at Ooty is being upgraded, and it will look at the solar storms in future, right. So, here what are the organizations associated with laboratory I have given here, please go through it. So, today we are concluding this S&T issues here, and we will have one more session on this S&T environment and ecology maybe after 10 days. Tomorrow we are going to deliberate at 11 o'clock various geographical aspects through maps. It will be highly interesting. Please do join at 11 o'clock, and please stay with us. Within few minutes we will be coming back with the questions and answers discussion. Have a nice day. Thank you.